Have you ever felt like you're capable of more, but the path to leadership just seems like a secret you're not in on? You see others getting promoted and you're left wondering, what am I missing? Why am I not getting promoted? If so, you're not alone. The truth is, that promotion isn't just some magical transformation. It's a recognition of something you've already become. Or at least it should be a recognition of something you've already become. Many companies know that they're failing to build their leaders. Research from the Center for Creative Leadership shows that nearly 60% of new managers get the title with zero formal training. They're expected to figure it out on their own. And as a result, the majority fail within their first 18 months on the job. What if you didn't have to figure it out? What if you're not just ready for leadership? What if you're already practicing it? You're already being a leader. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about learning to recognize the leader that you've already become. And when you recognize it, you'll be able to take what's yours. Here are the 5 signs that you're already a leader. Leadership isn't a title that's just given to you or that you're promoted to at work or anywhere else. It's something that others give you. It's determined by your own actions. Are you already helping people? Do people trust you to come with their own issues, their own problems, whether those are personal or professional, and are you willing to help them? Are you willing to better everybody else around you? That's what true leadership is. It's that people coalesce around you and they're seeking your help, your guidance, your wisdom, and that you're willing to help them, not for your own personal gain, but because you actually want to see them succeed. You want to see them be successful at everything or anything they do. You're going to have a sense of recognition, a sense of accomplishment when you see others actually perform their tasks, whatever they are, really well and they succeed. That's what true leadership is. Now let's think about your workplace. Are you the person that everybody else comes to when they're in a panic, when they need reassurance? Or are you the go-to person everybody comes to when they need advice? When there's a crisis and something is just wrong and you're the one person that always solves it? Are you the person in the company whose teammates, whose peers, or even sometimes superiors trust with their issues, problems, or they're willing to talk to just to get your perspective? If that's the case, that means you're the leader within that company, that organization, even though you may not have the title. When I was in IT consulting, I was working on projects, I was working on finishing tasks and testing the application that we had. Officially, that's all that I was. But unofficially, I was actually the department leader. Whenever anybody had any issues, struggles, or problems, or whenever we had to coordinate between departments, they came to me. I was the one that was cutting through the red tape. I was the one that was cutting through all of the issues and challenges and resolve them. So I never had a formal position as a manager, but I was the leader within the company. And if you're doing a similar thing, you're already a leader within your own company. So the next sign is that you focus on the solution, not just the problem. One of the things in companies that's really prevalent is we can all see the problems and people are always complaining, oh, this is a problem, this is an issue. And then they just do this. They sit down and they just wait on somebody to fix it because, hey, I'm not paid for it. I don't care if the problem persists. I've given you the problem, the issue. Now, manager, you fix it. If you're the person that when you see a problem, you actually also look for a solution, how to fix it, how to make sure that it doesn't happen again when it's fixed, that pretty much shows that you have ownership of a specific task, of a specific project, and you're willing to finish it from the beginning till the end. Then you're already a leader. You're the person that companies are actually looking for to promote to a higher level. Sign 3 is that you find joy in your team's success. Even if you're currently still an individual contributor, yet you still feel immense pride and joy when your overall team succeeds. If you're happy for your team, for that individual who achieved that success, even though you don't get any recognition, it means that, yes, you are on the path to becoming a leader. When you're a leader, when you're leading a team, success is going to come from your team. They're the ones who should be praised and should be recognized for their individual successes. Do you feel energized when you help others grow? When you help others with their projects, with their tasks, and you can see that they've succeeded in them? If so, that's an amazing sign of you being a leader. Because if you don't feel energized, leadership is going to burn you out eventually. What leadership is, it's helping others succeed. If that burns you out, if that takes away your energy to see others being happy, to see others succeeding and not you, I'm sorry to say it, but you shouldn't become a leader in the near future. If helping others grow, if helping others achieve their tasks and their goals energizes you, you're already on the path to being a leader if you're not already one. You're a master translator. And by being a master translator, I don't mean translating from one language to another. I actually mean translating from one person to another. This is one of the most challenging, yet one of the most crucial tasks that you or I or anybody else that's in a leadership position can and needs to do. Every individual person has their own unique communication style. And some may mesh with others, some may not, some may be outright hostile. What usually happens in the cases when two people can't get along is that something's lost in translation. And that means they can't communicate with each other clearly and effectively. And this is where I and you as leaders come in. We need to make sure that within our teams, within our departments, that everybody is communicating and speaking clearly. And yes, that means that we need to go in and be the in-between with those people. We as leaders have a simple goal: to make everybody successful and give them all of the resources that they need to be successful, whether that's in their personal life or the professional life. It really doesn't matter. We as leaders strive to make sure that they're successful in both. If they're not going to be successful in their personal lives, I can guarantee you they're not going to be really successful in their professional life. Maybe for a time, but sooner or later, that personal life is going to start creeping into their professional lives. That's why we need to be adaptable. I know that a lot of times, some leaders and some managers have said that, hey, I'm a manager now. Everybody else needs to adapt to the way I communicate because I'm the top boss. Let me tell you one thing. If you're of this mind, you're never going to be successful. Definitely not as a leader, because it's our job as leaders to make sure that everybody else can communicate with each other effectively and efficiently. So when I was a chief of staff for a career coaching company, I had the CEO and the operations manager. Their communication styles were completely different. They were also from completely different cultures, and that made it even worse. But at that point of time, I wouldn't say that they were really hostile to each other, but it was close to that pretty much. And we had this issue where we were actually looking at firing this person. So the CEO was against it, and the operations manager, she wanted it to happen. The issues behind this were complex, and pretty much in the end, we did fire the person. I was the in-between, the go-to person for both the CEO and for the operations manager. And I had to translate what they were saying to the other person. So it was a Tuesday at 1 p.m. and we're having a meeting on this topic at 4 p.m. What I ended up doing from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. is that I had separate calls with each and every single one of them. So I had a 15-minute call with the ops manager, and then I had a 20-minute call with the CEO. And what I was doing at that time was I was actually translating what they were saying to each other. So if I wasn't in between them, they would have never have seen eye to eye, and they would probably be yelling at each other and not accomplishing pretty much anything. When we had the meeting at 4 p.m., what happened was that they both understood the other's point, and they were able to talk to each other in a civilized manner that didn't involve yelling, accusing, or just finger pointing. And it ended up with a clear-cut to-do list and what we wanted to do. TLDR, that person got fired within a month, and we had a plan on how to actually do it. And both the CEO and the ops manager were completely on board with what we needed to do. If you're already doing this, kudos to you, because you're way ahead of your peers in the leadership journey that you've decided to take. Sign number 5 is that you actively seek feedback. So that means that you're humble enough, you're self-aware, that you know that you have blind spots, that you know that you need to improve, you can always improve, and that you're okay with asking your colleagues, your peers, your superiors, and your subordinates on what you can improve. When you're asking for feedback, you also make sure that the other person knows that you're not just asking for feedback because you want to get praise. You actually want actual feedback so that you can improve yourself. Even though that feedback may sting, even though you may not necessarily like it, but that's the way the other person sees you. Now, one thing to note here is that not all feedback is equal. If somebody gives you feedback just out of the blue, of course, take it, but take it with a grain of salt. Always ask yourself, do I trust this person? Do I trust that this person is giving me actual feedback? So this is the one thing that every leader needs to make sure that they're aware of. So the 5 signs that you're ready for leadership are: you're already leading without a title. You focus on solutions instead of problems. You genuinely celebrate your team's wins. You act as a master translator, and you actively hunt for feedback as a tool for growth. If you saw yourself in any of these signs, even just in one or two, just a little bit, and that voice in your head telling you maybe you're ready for leadership, trust that voice. That's your intuition telling you that you're ready. These 5 signs aren't just theories. They're real behaviors that are actually telling you, yes, you're ready to take the next step. Yes, you're ready to be a leader. It's a sign that you're already displaying that you are leadership and management potential. It's about time that you actually get recognized and promoted to the title of what you're already doing within your company. You are so ready for this, even though you may not know it. Now, go and watch some more of my videos.